Hello and welcome to Dolphin Dive, the weekly strategically minded Handelabra stream hosted by LogicDolphin, here at twitch.tv/Handelabra Games and not on LogicDolphin like I accidentally just did. Whoops. At least I caught it quickly. I'm gonna sanity check that I am streaming on the right channel real quick just because I'm paranoid about this right now. Yes, looks like I'm here. Cool. Alright. Alright. Crisis averted. But anyway, I'm here to play Spirit Island. I've been away for a while again. Well, I don't even know how long it was, like a few months or something. I thought I was going to be free Thursday nights, and then I wasn't, and then I just kind of never got back into it. But I'll be back here because Nature Incarnate is starting to get released, so it's pretty good timing for me to come back. Plus, I think my schedule is somewhat standardized now for realsies, and I think I'm pretty much free on Mondays, so I'll be streaming Mondays. Better than Thursday, because it's earlier in the week. And it's the day before Handelabra Live, which means I get to troll John or something. I don't know. I just work here, man. Anyway, if you missed Handelabra Live in the past week, there was the first preview of Nature Incarnate content. And so we will play it. 2 board spirits, any complexity, random adversary, no supporting adversary, because I'm scared. Starlight, sure. But it's Ember-Eyed Behemoth is the guy that was demoed. So I'll go ahead and give it a whirl, I guess. I don't think I want to go with Sunbright though, because Sunbright is very high complexity. Volcano Looming High is moderate complexity. Maybe we'll try that. But yeah, Ember-Eyed Behemoth with no music yet, but you know, work in development, all that stuff. Put 2 presents and Incarna in the highest numbered wetland on your starting board that is adjacent to any jungle. Playstyle: slowly but consistently stomps its Incarna around the island, smashing invaders. Dahan can keep clear unless it really gets going. Benefits from spread out sacred sites both for targeting powers and for moving its Incarna long distances. Adding presence at its Incarna, which can count as presence, can make it easier to get into new lands, particularly non-jungles. So, Incarna is new to Nature Incarnate, and I'm not 100% how it works, but I believe the basic is that Incarna can count as a presence, and it can get empowered, but it's based on per spirit. It's basically unique to each spirit what it does, and whether that spirit even has an Incarna to begin with. But Ember-Eyed Behemoth does. Behemoth rises, you have an Incarna. If Incarna is empowered, it may count as Sacred Site. Once per turn during the spirit, fast, or slow phase, you may either push the Incarna or add or move Incarna to any of your Sacred Sites on the island. So since you can count it as a presence, in this case, you can count it as a Sacred Site if it's empowered. And furthermore, you know, any effect that destroys a presence, you can use to destroy your Incarna. However, you can add it back to the island with this rule here. And by the way, disclaimer, if I'm misquoting anything, it's because I don't know how the game works. I just stream here, man. But yeah, that's Behemoth Rises. We also have Unrelenting Strides. On any turn that you don't use innate powers, that's missing an apostrophe, you may use the Behemoth Rises in additional time. So, okay, you can push Incarna, add move Incarna an additional time if you do not use innate powers. But the innate power is Smash, Stop, and Flatten. Slow, targeting, no range, targeting, and Incarna land. If your Incarna is empowered, you may repeat this power once each turn. You may take other actions before repeating, including the Behemoth Rises. If you have 2 fire, 1 earth, it's 2 damage. 3 fire, 1 earth, 1 plant, 1 damage, push 1 Dahan. 4 fire, 2 earth, 1 plant, 1 fire, 1 damage. 5 fire, 2 earth, 2 plant, 2 damage, 2 damage, 2 Dahan. Hello, John. Feel free to correct me on any statement that I make regarding Incarna singulars. Because I'm not 100% familiar with it because I have not really played with it. Anyway, yeah, this only targets a land with Incarna, which if it's not on the island because it got removed, You can actually just add it during the slow phase if you haven't done this yet. And then you can use Smash, Stomp, and Flatten. Yeah, deals damage. Very, very damage, as you can tell. Very offense, very damage, very stomp, stomp, stomp. Starts with 0 energy per turn, 1 card play per turn. Growth options: reclaim all, gain power cards, standard. Add a presence to jungle or land with your presence. Can I zoom in on this? There we go. That was rather small. Add a presence to jungle or land with your presence. Range 3. Range 0, add a presence. We also have gain a power card, add a presence, range 1, gain 3 energy, and discard a power card with fire. But max 1 per turn. Reclaim all cards with fire. Empower your Incarna. Move Incarna range 1. Max once per game. Choose it wisely. And all of these cards have fire on them, which is cool. Empowering your Incarna lets you repeat your innate power. And then the growth of here, of course, you get fire, earth, plant, fire, fire. So 2 fires, an earth, a plant, and 3 fires. 3 fires, a plant, and earth. So it gets your second tier innate for free once you're max growth. And then it's very easy to get even more. And let's see, Blazing Intimidation, 1 fear, push to explore town to a land without Incarna. Exaltation of Grasping Roots, target spirit may add a wilds in one of their lands, you may do likewise. Searching Lahar, Searching Lahar. 2 damage. If your presence is present, add a Badlands. Fun. Terrifying Rampage. 1 fear. 2 invaders don't participate in Ravage. Push 3 Dahan. So, okay. It's like defend, but not really defend, is it? You choose the invaders that don't Ravage, and then they don't take damage. Stronger than defend in a sense, as it overwhelms Sweden, maybe. I don't know. Okay. We also have Volcano Looming High here, which can only add presence to mountains. When your presence is destroyed, damage per destroyed presence to both invaders and Dahan. A Lahar is a violent type of mud flow or debris flow composed of a slurry of pyroclastic material, rocky debris, and water. The material flows down from a volcano, typically along a river valley. Volcano. Uh-huh. I see. So we have a thematic setup here. We have Surging Lahar from our Volcano Looming High. Also, I don't know how to pronounce Lahar, but I'm gonna continue saying it weirdly because, well, if I attempt to pronounce it correctly, someone's gonna comment in the YouTube comments about how I clearly don't know how to pronounce the word, like Badlands. Anyway, that's months old anyway. Well, the original word is symbol. So good luck with that. Anyway, back to this. Only can go in mountains. Power cards have +1 range if you have 3 or more presence in origin land. Destroying presence deals damage per destroyed presence to both invaders and Dahan. Also fire, earth, air, fire stuff happening here. So very big overlap on elements, which might be bad. Energy per fire you have between people, Badlands and wilds, damage, fear, and push. Is this guy also offense? Yes. You know, I feel like I just want to tear the invaders a new one. That's all I want to do. Get out of my backyard. The random adversary chosen was Russia. Level 2 was just the last one I played, apparently. I'm fine with that. Russia seems scary. Additional Lost Condition. Hunters swarm the island. Track beasts destroyed by adversary rules. If that number ever exceeds the number of beasts on the island, the invaders win. Escalation. Stock the predators on each board. Add 2 explorers total among lands with beasts. If you can't, instead add 2 explorers among lands with beasts on a different board. We have Hunter, Seek, Shell, and Hide. During setup on each board, add a beasts and an explorer to the highest number of land without buildings. During play, explorers do +1 damage. When Ravage adds Blight to a land, including Cascades, destroy beasts in that land. Sense for impending disaster. For each time each action will destroy an explorer. If possible, one of the explorers is instead pushed, and 1 fear when you do so. Fear card distribution 4-3-4. Actually, kind of interesting that it goes 4-3-4 into 4-4-3, by the way. Interesting. Yeah, okay, so explorers deal more damage and they are more resilient. And they destroy beasts, and we lose if too many beasts are destroyed. Go. So, is this my setup here? Yeah, I'm choosing a mountain. Put a presence in the beasts, or Badlands. Presence in Badlands on your starting board in a mountain of your choice, but push all Dahan from that land. Screw that city. They're going to the wetlands. This is not a really good board for mountain, because that wetlands is very far away. Also, that beast is kind of screwed too, isn't it? I can't do this option? I can do this option. It's just... no. It's just colored differently to emphasize that you can only do it once per game, but it looks like it's disabled. That's my perspective on this, my UI statement of the matter. But anyway, I can push my Incarna or add or move Incarna to blah blah blah. And yeah, part of the thing said that since I can count it as a presence, I can add presence to non-jungle lands using this. I start in a wetland though? Wait, what? That's not wetland. Or, that's not jungle. Oh no, I see. I'm misreading this. Starts in a wetland adjacent to any jungle. But this can only go into jungles. That's kind of weird that I don't start in a jungle when this adds to jungle. I'm just saying, it's weird, okay? It's weird. Okay, anyway. Double presence, energy. +0 energy per turn makes me want to click this, but then I discard a card with fire. Am I supposed to just discard all my fire cards and then reclaim them all and then stuff? I mean, repeating my innate is obviously cool. If I do double growth, I can get the 2 card plays, 1 energy per turn. Thank you, Steam. Autumn sale on now. Thanks. Good to know. I'd be forced to play Terrifying Rampage and Exaltation of Grasping Roots, which this doesn't do anything this turn. So, not really a good plan for that. I get the 2 energy, 1 card play, but I gain a fire, and then I could play, like, this card. Does it do any good? I don't know, I just work here, man. What about Volcano? Am I just gonna kill this city on turn 1? If I take Fire Earth and I play a Fire Earth card, which is literally any of my cards, I also get to deal 2 damage in a land within range 1, which is not that great because there's nothing within range 1. So maybe I just hold on that. My power cards would have +1 range if I have 3 presence there, so I could hit this with a range 1 power, and this with a range 2 power. But that doesn't hit the explorers. I mean, it does deal 1 damage, which pushes an explorer, so that doesn't do good. Presence at range 4 doesn't really help when I can only go into mountains. I guess I could go into G8 or something, but... Am I gonna have to use the help of Ember-Eyed Behemoth to deal with E8? How? I can't grow into E8, but I could grow into E7 and hit this at range 1. It would require me to do this growth option. I mean, if I'm not using my innate, I can use Behemoth Rises twice, which can push this Incarna to E6, and then I hit this at range 1. Yeah? I have to push it to down without my Incarna. FN Russia collectin' pelts. Frickin' Russia. Yeah, if I do that, I mean, I have to kind of accept that I'm not going to smash this turn. Right? Once per turn, but any turn you don't, lacking apostrophe, use innate powers, you may use Behemoth Rises an additional time. Right? I assume this means I can't use it additional time and then use my innate power, because, like... I assume I have to follow the... what that's asking for. Alright, so let's do this, because I think that would work if I do that. I'm just accepting not using that innate, which is kind of bad, but... I gain power card. Sorry, you can't play the spirit until we add that apostrophe. Literally unplayable. There are no fire cards on this. No fires. How important is it that I have fire? I have 3 fire on my presence track, but obviously, like, am I gonna get all of them before the game ends? But there's also an earth and a plant on the presence track, which means that, like... This has plant earth, which would be, like, the second best thing if I can't get fire, right? But without fire, what am I doing? What is it all good for? Reaching grass plus 2 range? This can't be affected by range modifiers, right? Ranges below can't be increased. I mean, I could target a land at range 2 with Explosive Eruption. However, I would be forced to destroy 0 presence, as there'd be nothing in that land. Actually, with this, it says destroy X, 1 or more of your presence. But if you have 0 presence, then X is forced to be 0, which is a rule violation, and it will just force close the game. That's how the game's programmed, by the way. First Ravage and target land becomes a build instead? Is that acceptable? Targets a land with Dahan. I mean, it doesn't help with E8. I mean, I guess I could do it next turn in E8. Like, gather the town in E7, and then the Ravage in E8 turns into a build, which then puts a city in E8, which is great, as it's next to this volcano, absolutely. It's also an inland, so it's great that I'm putting more buildings on an inland, so there's permanent visibility in the inner lands. Whatever. Make it work, I guess. So do I have a solution for E4? I have Rain of Ash. But it pushes 2 lands without my presence, which is just rude. Target spirit gains +1 range with their powers that originate from a mountain. Not very good when you're not in a mountain yet. Nor can you actually get into a mountain. So it's easier for you to get in the jungles than mountains. I can actually push my Incarna and then use it for presence placement. So actually, hold on. I push this like here. I can then put my presence here, right? Right? I have 3 energy this turn. Let's get it to 2 card plays. That's usually what you want to do. So I'm already next to E8, so I don't have to do not smash then. Discard power card with fire. I can't click this one. Why can't I click this one? It clearly has fire on it. I mean, it has an F, an I, an R, and an E on the card, therefore it's a fire card, right? Okay. I'm done being stupid. So the Incarna counts as a presence? Does that mean if I have it in a land with a presence, it makes that land a sacred site? Do I not know how Incarna works? Is it clear that I don't know how Incarna works? Spirit Island Wiki is unavailable. Well, that's awkward. It may count as presence, your choice. Okay. So if I have a presence and an Incarna, it's a sacred site. Mm-hmm. My Incarna is currently not in a good land for Smash, by the way. Maybe that was a bad idea. But was I not going to use Smash? Maybe. My instinct is to... Oh, I'm discarding. Let's not discard. I'm discarding the wrong one. Oh yeah, I could just stop the build now with this. So I was gonna use this to deal 2 damage in E8, but actually let's just push those guys from E8 into E6. Save this for next turn. And then I guess I play this. Should I play that? Am I playing 2 cards? Am I using my thing when there's nothing in the land? It feels like I don't really want wilds in... Well, I mean, it does say May, but like, I don't really want wilds in Volcano's land. I'm not playing that this turn. I'm not playing that this turn. So am I playing this or am I not playing this? If I'm not playing this, I should just take an energy then. Feels like I want to just take an energy, so let's take the energy. Okay. I can push my Incarna a second time. Volcano, on the other hand, have we decided what you're gonna do? That's the neat part. Not really. How do I deal with E4? I guess I can Rain of Ash it. I would need energy to do so. I'm just gonna click this. Hey, I can click this one. That has fire and earth, which is all I care about. Maybe a little bit of air someday, but... it doesn't really matter how much fire I have other than this thing. I'll just click that. That's fine. I'm gonna place my presence at range 4. So there. And then this to get rid of the guys in E4. I'm not gonna be using this innate. I don't have energy to gain a power card. Should I have taken energy again? I don't have a sacred site. If I play this, I will have 3 fire. So I will gain energy. But I don't have you in a land with mountains right now. Wildlands and wilds or a damage. Feels like I just want energy again. I don't know. I'm not like sensing the need to do a lot of setup right now. That's what I'm feeling. Let's just have a very slow game, I guess. I can play more, right, because I have +1 power rate. I mean, actually, this wasn't a card play thing, but yeah, the fire element's not doing much for me this turn anyway. I'm just not gonna play the card. Screw it. I'll do the plus card play growth option and proceed to not do plus card play. Get rid of these guys. You can come sit. I want you to be in the land with the beasts. Yes, because I'm in there. Don't destroy presence. Build in wetlands. Explore mountains. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off. Alright, get rid of these guys. You can go... not in the mountains. I would normally put you in the mountains, but I'm not. And I can push my Incarna. Or add it to a sacred site. Or move it to a sacred site. I mean, that's going to be the same thing effectively here. Can effectively block both Ravages on board G, but G2's not really doing anything. I do kind of plan on blowing up in E2, which will deal with E5. His power's damage is done separately to both Invaders and Dawn. If I can get rid of the Dawn in E5, that would be nice, but... yeah, so I mean, like, these will be solved. These Ravages are solved. Those are the builds on this board, and then these are the Ravages, which I think this one, I'm just gonna let Ravage. This one, we could call the trade or something. I do have this growth that can go into a land with my presence, or with my Incarna counting as a presence. Which isn't gonna go in really any good land. Could click this again to try to get... I could take a major. 5 energy. 6 energy. I could discard a fire card and then forget it. Which is not that good when I'm like trying to reclaim the fire cards back. But 6 energy is a lot. Surging Lahare. I'm just gonna push it back to where it was. It's done its job. Used it to put a presence in E6. That was useful. I mean, these cards are expensive. I could forget Call to Trade and gain a major power that has fire on it, and then I can reclaim that fire. And we could just do Terrifying Rampage in G4 to stop that Ravage, not let it build. I can't describe. Yeah, yeah. Gain Major. These two have fire. These are elements. These are elements. Forest of Living Obsidian. Range 0. Add a Badlands, push all Dahan. 1 damage to each invader. If the origin land is your sacred site, plus 1 damage to each invader. Repeat this power. I like that it's Badlands first and then damage to each invader. And if it's my sacred site, which I can very easily make, because I could just push my Incarna to make that happen, probably. Or just have sacred sites in general. But kind of like that power. Unleash a torrent. I mean, I don't really have sun cards right now. I kind of like this one. Is there any reason to do those? Plague stack? Yeah, Blood Rack Plague stack. Bombard with boulders and stinging seeds. 1 fear, 2 damage, add a Badlands. 1 fear, 2 damage, add a Wilds. And you might wonder, where is this card coming from? I haven't seen that card before. Interesting. I can discard it. Okay. Presence at range 1. Which I can use to get into G1 or G8. Surely I'm discarding that one, right? The problem is I'm not gonna have the elements for this, of course. I will have the elements for this. I would like to use it. And if I take the fire up here... Oh, but I'm not gonna have 2 card plays if I do that. Add a Badlands, damage to each invader, but it's not going to be my sacred site unless it's G4, but if it's G4, I don't need to have that sacred site. I mean, I'm playing this for sure this turn. I guess, like, there's nothing really happening in G8. I don't really have to care about G8. I guess it's easier for me to get into G1. So if my Incarnate may count, I can put it in here, and it's not going to die in the Ravage, because I don't have to have it die in the Ravage, right? And then I can put my presence in here. I'll do this, because then... I can do 3 damage in G2, because I'll have... Wait, what am I talking about? I'm sorry, I'm looking at... I'm looking at. I'm assuming I have this, but it's not this. Whatever. Whatever. I'll do it in G2 to kill the Explorer or something. I don't know. Which doesn't actually die, so it's kind of a waste. Details. Okay. Mountain. You have to put presents. You can't get to 2 card plays. So you have to play a Fire Earth card. Surprise, that's all of these. But once I do have this, I will destroy all the presents in E2. Well, I don't... Well, if I don't kill the... If I don't quote-unquote kill the Explorer, it's gonna still deal 2 damage in its Ravage. So if I do 3 presence destruction in E2, that will deal 4 damage. Bounces to E5, which also quote-unquote kills the Explorer. Or is it the same action? I don't know. The first time each action will destroy an Explorer, blah, blah, blah. But is that like... Because isn't one action just the collapse in a blast of lava and steam, and then the second action is explosive eruption? Anyway. Oh, I guess we could just block the Ravage in G4 with rights, but meh. Could do Exaltation of Molten Stone. If I'm reclaiming all of your cards next turn, then we could do this again if you have more energy. So I do that. Oh, I can only play 1 card. Oh, so you're only gaining 1 energy. That's actually sad then. That's just sad. This is range 3, actually. Range 3 from E2 because there's 2 presents. So I can't hit G8 with that. How about that? How about that? Except they still build. So actually, I don't know if that's that helpful. 3 energy to kill the town is kind of useless. Okay. Never mind. That was just a thought experiment. Everything's fine. That was a thought experiment. However, you are in a mountain. +1 range with powers that originate from a mountain. But only really help with this, which we're doing in G1. These cards suck. I'll just do this one. Okay. Don't do things. This Dahan can go sit in G3. Then destroy all the presents. This Explorer pushes. You can push into E3. Deal damage there. Aha! Explorer did die. It was the same action. Plot twist. Cool. Solved. Solved. Will be solved. Is building. Is ravaging. Is solved. Is solved. Is solved. Yay! 1 fear card away. Or 1 fear from a fear card. Resourceful Populace. For the rest of the turn, after an action destroys 1 or more buildings, add a town to an adjacent land. Rude. Virulence among close-packed homes. On each board, add a disease to the inland land with the most buildings. Offerings of story and season. Each spirit with at least 3 Dahan among all its lands gains 1 energy and may reclaim 1 card. That was gonna be Ember-Eyed Behemoth, and then I pushed that Dahan away. Rude. Alright, well, the disease there makes sense. Next turn is Jungler Wetlands. I'll put it in this one, because that is a 50% chance of going off. And no one wins. And you are not a presence. Explore Sands. Aha. E6 is delightful right now. Uh-huh. So my first thought was to do this in G1. But E6 is really something right now, too. It pushes 1 explorer, but kills everything else. Stops that city build. I mean, what would be my solution for G1? Don't know. Huh. Push the explorer. Fun. Very dramatic stomp animation there. LOL. That was underwhelming. Oh, it also didn't really destroy anything. Okay. Damage. There. Very sad damage, but it does give me a fear, so it's not terrible. We are gonna reclaim all of our things, right? So I could just stop the Ravage with Blazing Intimidation. It just feels like it's better to deal with the inland here. Click and explore to push it. Wait, so I can't save Ned, Nancy, or Charlie, but I can save Edgar. Why is Edgar saved? That's just rude. Yes, I destroyed a town. Yes. Okay, I just wanted to double check, was it adjacent land or adjacent land without town? I mean, obviously you can see that by hovering over this, but I wanted to double check the rules text in case it was a bug, okay? Okay? Like, okay? I can go there. Okay. So this is solved, this is solved. We solved Volcano's board. That's building, that's building. That's not ravaging, that's not ravaging, that's ravaging, that's ravaging. I'm reclaiming all my cards with fire, also known as all my cards. My Incarna is empowered, and I get to move the Incarna. So my Incarna is empowered, so it counts as a sacred site now. It may count as a sacred site. May, right? It says may. It may count as a sacred site, yeah. It can count as a presence, or it may count as a sacred site, or neither of those. Who knows? The only downside of this is I don't actually grow. I don't gain energy or stuff or presence. So I'm sitting on 2 energy this turn. So I can't play this turn. So it's probably going to be 0 energy card and then one of the others. Surging Lahair could help with, like, G5. The repeat on this is cool. Also, I can move League Incarna and then deal damage in a second land. That's cool. We have a thing that adds a wilds and lands. For all the good that does. Oh, we can just use this to get things out of G1. Pushes to a land without my Incarna. Okay, so let's... Whoops. That was not what I expected. This is a click move thing. Put it in G4. We're going to use Blazing Intimidation in G1. Oh, I was going to use Searching Lahair, actually. Because I was thinking of doing that in, like, G5. That's fine. In that case, let's... Oh my god. I have to... Oh, is there no undo? There it is, okay. Okay. That undid this for some reason. Which is what I wanted it to do, but also not quite what that undo looked like it was gonna do. So if I'm playing those, I could just smash in G5 to solve G5. Well, doesn't kill the Explorer. And we'll figure it out. I don't think I'm going to be destroying presence this turn, so let's do this. I'll be sitting at 7 energy, so I could gain a major. Uh-huh. Those aren't fire earths. But they are all fire. Exaltation of the Incandescent Sky. Target spirit may play 1 power card by paying its cost, make up to 2 of their powers fast this turn, and do 3 damage in one of their lands. You may do likewise. I really like the numbering on this card. And any 4 lands on the island, skip 1 invader action, 5 fear. Do you see it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Aha. Although there is also skip 1 invader action on there. It should say skip an invader action or something, but fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the passcode to my luggage. That's passcode to an idiot's luggage. Uh-huh. It's expensive though. I would not be able to play another power this turn. 2 fear, 2 damage. If no beasts are present, add a beast. Otherwise, plus 2 damage and push up to 1 beasts. Uh-huh. Tiger's Hunting. Range 1 from a jungle. Very good card to have on Volcano. Vengeance of the Dead. Okay. You may square or square root any numeral in the power card text this turn. Ah, so that 1 is very important that it's a 1, because then I can square or square root it to get it to 1 or 1. You may play 1 power card by paying its cost, make up to 1.414 of your powers fast this turn, and do 1.716 damage in one of your lands. And any 2 lands on the island, skip 1 invader action, 2 point something fear. Also, I don't know if square root of 3 is 1.716, but I know that square root of 2 is 1.414. Because I remember reading about It was like in this like fictional story about someone discovering math like from basics, and they're looking at square root of 2 and finding the decimals, and they saw 1.414 and they're like, aha, so it's a repeating decimal, and then the next digit was 2 and they're like, crap. Anyway. This kind of sucks for this turn because there's nothing in my lands. This kind of sucks because, well, I can't afford any other power if I click it. This just sucks. But it would do something this turn, to be honest. Maybe. Maybe not. And then Tiger's Hunting is literally unplayable. Like, not memeing, it is literally unplayable as I cannot have presence in a jungle. Otherwise, it'd be really good. And I would just click it. I'm sure a number of people would just have insta-clicked this card because it's Tiger's Hunting, but also doesn't give fire, so maybe not. But annoyingly, these are not very good major powers. I mean, this does give 3 fear. Do I just click it and forget it? Seems like a waste. Also, I don't think Exaltation is even that good this turn, as neither spirit can afford to play another power card. Well, it says another, so it has to be on the behemoth, but you don't have energy to play anything. I can do this to spend 3 energy and add a beast to the island. Jeez. I'm gonna click this card. It's a really good major, as I can just forget it. Womp womp. That is so sad. I think I'm gonna just place the earth down, because then I can put Destroyed Presence on the island consistently, which will be helpful. And this is presence at range 4. Except that's Ravaging, so that's not really the greatest. So I'm just gonna go in E2. Do not build and target land this turn. Guess we could target G3 with that, if I did have a Sacred Site. The problem is, it doesn't really matter if they build or not, because that Explorer's still dealing 2 damage, but it also would generate 0 fear. Okay, I'm just not gonna bother. It's fine. We'll take energy, and then I don't have a Sacred Site. Okay, so I will put my presence in my own land, I guess. I didn't really want to, but if I'm gonna play a Sacred Site power, I might as well have a Sacred Site. So what am I doing with this? So we said we're doing this. You can go in there, solves that. Don't need to push my Incarna. You do have +1 range for powers originating, but like it doesn't matter, but sure, it has to target another spirit anyway. You can gain an additional energy. And I don't have range there. I think the most effective is honestly this. I mean, pretty much all it's gonna do is kill a town, right? I don't have range there. That's just gonna push the Explorer. Not doing that. Okay. Hardworking settlers. The latest round of settlers are regrettably diligent, focused, and curious. You may act cautiously in the background or create unnerving distractions at the cost of piquing their interest. So if you act cautiously on each board, push 2 to Han, add a town to a land without town, immediately ravage in a land with the most invaders that matches a ravage card. That would only be G8, but that would result in a cascade in the actual ravage, which is kind of annoying, as that either cascades into a blight, which double cascades, or it goes into a beast's land, which destroys a beast's per the adversary. If we create unnerving distractions, we can stop the G8 ravage. Doesn't do anything on board E as there's nothing in there, but we do get 2 fear, but we do remove a stage 2 and stage 3 card from the game, which there are still a lot of cards in there, but it does mean we have to act fast. We also have beasts count as badlands. On each board, destroy a damaged invader in a land with beasts. Tragic. There is a damaged invader here, but there's no beasts. And then the only land with invaders and beasts is G7, which I'm not targeting, and I don't even need the badlands effect. So that's a great event card. Fear card says, each player removes an explorer town from a land with beasts. Yay! Even more beast uselessness. Skip ravage. Build sands. And then wetlands with escalation. Okay. So I do have to make a decision here because I guess they're exploring E8 anyway. This board doesn't really matter as much. Let's put it G7 as there's the Han there. Maybe that's more relevant. This is ravaging, so I'm just gonna put it in the wetlands. Alright, target spirit adds the wilds in one of their lands. You may do likewise. I can spend 2 energy to gain a power card. I do have a lot of energy. Could try another major, but I think I'm taking a minor this time. So I'm just going to do that. Pay 2 energy, I'm going to gain a minor. Because what I could do is just forget it. There's no fire on any of these. No, there's only 1 earth. That's tragic. Any points of these effects? Range 0, destroy, explore Dahan, add a wilds, defend 2, meh. Push per Dahan, meh. Defend, meh. Coastal? I'll click on Call to Isolation. I'm pretty much probably just gonna forget it, to be honest. But I'll click it. You have Smash. Look at that epic Smash. We can repeat this. Now, there's still ravaging in there, which is kind of annoying. So I think I'm just gonna kill this guy. Go into that land, I guess. And then skip that wilds, but put the wilds there. So it's not in G5, which is good. So that's solved. And then this Incarna can move. Sands Ravage, so we still have to solve G3, but we can Terrifying Rampage for that. G2 is the next worry. But we'll... This power's already been used. No, it hasn't. Liar. Can try to set up for this next turn. So let's push this to G2. Definitely playing this. I'm probably playing this, so I'm discarding this. Volcano is not doing much. All the isolation, but there's no Dahan in those lands. Do not build, but there's no, I guess, E8. There's 2 Dahan and E8, which is annoying. Called isolation doesn't solve that. Could go for another major. We did gain another power. Screw it. Mm-hmm. I can't afford this one. However... Actually, I can afford it because I have another presence. I do have plus card play, so I could like play Call to Isolation and Fire and Flood or something. Irresistible Call is very tempting, though. Just irresistibly go to the volcano and then die. But Fire and Flood, like... If I do that and Call to Isolation, I'll only have 2 fires. But I'll soon in quotes, I guess on later turns, I'll have a guaranteed 3 fire. Which means I can do 8 damage in one of the lanes, for sure. But 7 energy's a lot. Is there a reason to do something else, though? Irresistible Call would stop the E4 build. Does put things in my mountains. Makes me happy. Doesn't really help with the wetlands this turn that much, though. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to go into Volcano. I could do it in E7. Stops both wetland builds. This also gathers Dahan, so it combos with Call to Isolation. I gather 1,000,000 Dahan into E7, and then I can push things into E5. I kind of like that, actually. Certainly will be better on later turns. So let's take that. And... I mean, I'm not using this turn. You go away. And then I'm going to grow into G8 now. I do have plus card play this turn. But I don't need the energy this turn. Let's do this to make sure I have cards on the reclaim turn. I will have +3 energy that turn, so I don't need energy as much. Okay. I have no innates. LOL. Alright, so those ravages are solved. These builds are solved. That's very good. So... that build is solved. And I think we're solving G3 by virtue of things. If I do double presence... I've been clicking on this a lot, but... and it does give me energy, but if I do double presence, I can get to +3 energy, which means I could play the 2 cards I want to play, but also... get a lot of presences down. Like, if I can get to 3 fire this turn... then my innate's better. It's just better. Okay, I'm gonna do this. Presence to jungler land with my presence. G2 is my presence, isn't it? Surprise. Not that. Alright, so I have this. Obviously don't have the repeat on that. That's fine. Terrifying Rampage for G3. Okay, so then... Volcano, the classic sun air spirit. Yes. I'm an air and a plant away from the threshold on that. Whatever that means. This is pushing 3 to Han. But it's not ravaging, so it doesn't really matter. This also pushes all to Han. This pushes it to Han, so it doesn't really matter. Just go there. We'll figure it out later. Okay, then the Irresistible Call. Gathering everything. Then Call to Isolation. To push things into my volcano. And I can just destroy my presence to kill something. I could. I can always just destroy my presence, which will always allow for damage per destroyed presence. So I can kill that town, which would stop visibility to E7. And that's pretty much it. I think I'll wait. I want to save the presence for a mega eruption down the road. If I can get to 10 destroyed presence in each land within range 2 for damage. E7 and E5. Except I don't have my top innate, so I don't actually deal damage in one land within range 1. Oh, but you're saying I would stop visibility. Oh, I see. Sorry, I understand your statement. Okay, I thought you were saying damage, but yeah, I would stop visibility to E5, but there's already things in E5, so that kind of is irrelevant. I can just erupt like next turn, so. And I don't need to push my Incarna yet. So I will skip. Tight-knit communities. For the rest of the turn, buildings have +1 health. That's a big middle finger. Prey on the unwary. Each beast destroys an explorer. Add a beast to a board without one. On each board, add Dahan to a coastal land with Dahan. Uh-huh. That was forced. That was forced. Fair card says, isolate 1 land. Aha. I isolate the ocean. Checkmate. Well, if I isolate E5, we have the same effect, right? Does the exact same thing. Isolating E5 means E7 is not explorable. That land has beasts that they would still escalate in there, but I mean, I'm not really worried about E7 because I can irresistibly call into E5. Maybe. I don't think I have energy for that next turn, but details. They already explored wetlands, so like E4 and E8 are not a concern. If I isolate G3, I stop visibility to E6. Board G is a bit more annoying as there's visibility everywhere and redundantly so. So like isolating G8 doesn't stop 6, 5, or 7 as they're already seen by 2 and 4. So isolating G3 is probably the next best option as that does stop visibility to E6. I think the inner land of E is vital to keep separate because it's far from the mountains. So I guess G3. I mean, it doesn't really matter if they can't see E7 because if when they escalate, they will still put 2 explorers in E7. And I'm fine with them exploring E5 because, I mean, I'll just erupt. Maybe I do E1. I'll just click E1. Protect the sands. Jungle. Mm-hmm. So none of my isolating did anything. Womp womp. Also, plus health is stupid. I think I might just need to combo these. Yeah, that's fine. Oh yeah, we have isolate going on. Pushes Dahan. Also invader. Oh no, Dahan don't care about isolate. It's just the explorer. Putting it in G3 is fine. Edgar saves. Isabella dies. There we go. So now G4 is annoying. And there's nothing to be said about these jungles right now. Irresistible Call in E5 though. Oh man. I can let them build. I mean, there's disease in there, so I don't care. But I can let them build, and then I can gather all the explorers in the E5. Because I won't have energy for it next turn, but I will in 2 turns after they build. So I'm just gonna put preemptive check marks on there. Like, I'm not worried about those. I'm not worried at all. These are a little more annoying though, especially as they have the beasts. They will escalate maybe unless they do coastal, and even if I stop a build, they might put explorers back. I mean, I can put the explorers in the land that's empty, but what am I gonna do with G4? My presence is there. I can push my Incarna over there, dealing 3 damage, but I can't kill the city, I can only kill the town. Or I can kill an explorer and push an explorer. If I move the Incarna to G6, I can push the explorer. But then it's like, I feel like it's a massive waste of what I was trying to set up with this. I like that there's no sacred site lines coming from this, because this Incarnate is already its own sacred site. Also, I like that there's icons on there for that. That's cool. I don't gain energy when I reclaim, so I can't play this again, but it's also slow, so I can't do that. I will have 6 energy if I click this, so I could gain another major, but I really need to gain cards. But if I gain a power, I'm going to discard this anyway. Blazing Intimidation's not really gonna help, or not even that. Terrifying Rampage isn't gonna help us, it only stops 2 invaders. And we forgot the power that said in a land with Dahan, they build instead of Ravage. I mean, this might just have to Blight, which is okay, but it's gonna kill 2 Dahan unless I can push them out, which that would push them out. But I'd have to Reclaim, and I already used this game, so... Oh, this is isolated right now? I could smash in G3 and kill Explorers, but... Again, I'd rather just kill the town, right? Oh, there's 3 Explorers in G4. I guess I could kill 3 Explorers G4, kill 2, move 1, and then Terrifying Rampage would actually stop that Ravage. It just seems like a waste. Feels like I just want to gain a major and forget Surging Lahair or something. I don't know if that's good. Alright, I'm gonna just do this. Pushes 1 to Han. Okay. Discard first in case I do decide to forget that, and then I take a fire card or something. Mountains, Wetlands, 5 damage. Does that do it? I do have the energy for it. Two, 3, 6. So it would be a fear card, and it takes us to Terror level 2. I feel like it has to be this. And honestly, I'm just gonna forget Surging Lahair. I'm gonna forget a unique power so that when an event card says Spirit may reclaim a unique power or something, then I can actually do something. I'll take Earth. This is range 1 presence. Grow in there, so I'm in that land. Play that. Okay. Actually, no, I think my Incarna's gonna probably do something in there. Okay, but I have my innate, so it's 2 damage. This is Reclaim. I'm gonna gain a minor, as I need to not play a major. Uh-huh. Fire Earth. Beasts? No, fire earth, right? Placed blight, but who cares? We have 4 blight on the card. I think we've not like placed any blight down. Well, no, we've had to place one. We placed this one earlier in the game, and that was it. We're winning too hard. Is this the point where John says we're winning too hard? Okay, so we were gonna solve that with talons. I'm gonna be doing irresistible call into E5 next turn. Should have enough energy if I click +2 energy. I could also click this to gain energy for both of us. I guess that's actually reasonable. One more fire card and I can, gain a power card, but lose energy. Don't really want to do that. How many Dahan are in there? 3? Not enough to stop that build. I don't think I'm gonna do this yet. It's gonna happen in E5 eventually. I mean, if I lower the number of explorers in G7, it's easier to solve that. Hypothetically. Uh-huh. That's a very good 1 energy. Alright. On each board, add wilds to a land without invaders. Build in a land with the most buildings. On each board, destroy 2 explorers among lands with beasts. I like that a lot. During Ravage, Dahan deal damage at the same time as invaders. Okay. So they already did wetlands, they already did jungles, so sands and mountains. Yeah, I know. It's a city. That's fine. That's fine. Probably... I think since it's closer than Karna, I actually want to kill that one. Ed, on the other hand. But screw Joe. Skip the next normal explorer. During the next invader phase, draw an additional explorer card. Each player pushes up to 3 explorer towns from a land not matching a build card. Could daisy chain it. Wetlands are solved. And I can't push from the jungles. So just throw more into E5. Okay. Destroy presence. I want to push you here and smash. Oh, there was 2 guys in there? Oh. Oh, there's a town. Right. Right. Oh, but I could repeat. Okay, there you go. We did. Okay, solved, solved. We're going to irresistibly call. This is actually a reclaim. Gain a minor? Because you're energy starved right now for some reason. Weird. You have innate fire, so it's plus fear. Repeat the lowest cost power card that you have in play by paying its cost again. You may do likewise. Veem Stents. Aha. You do have innate earth. Also, this is actually good elements. No plant. Surely it's better than this, right? I could play this turn. Everything's concentrated in G8 and E5 right now. I think now I was gonna click this for millions of energy, but I feel like I just want to set up for E5. There's not gonna do anything right away. So this for sure. I also could have gone with 3 card plays, but I don't have any more. Oh, I do have a sun. Wait, can I hit this? I don't have another plant. Okay. Also, wouldn't do anything to isolate and skip actions, but. Just gonna start adding Badlands to E5. I have 1 destroyed presence left. And G8's still a thing, but I mean... I can't get the repeat on that. I can move my Incarna over there for +1 damage to each invader, and actually with the Badlands that would kill everything in G8. There's no build this turn. Seems reasonable to do that, honestly. So irresistible. Oh, because there's 6 to Han. Okay. There we go. The shrunk happened. There are now 11 explorers, 3 towns, 1 city, 5 to Han, 2 beasts, and 6 presents. I assume when it says that in 1 land within range 1, I can actually hit that land again, as it is a land within range 1. So if I destroy 6 presents, I deal 12 damage in that land. 3, 5, 7, 9. Oh, it actually says setup symbols on here now. Hey! Hey! Yay. Nice, I can actually see where the setup symbols are. Even if they're not explicitly on the island, but at least you can do that. You're welcome! I think we just win the game though, don't we? Because I'm going to kill everything in G8 with Force of Living Obsidian. There's no build. It's just the event card that could screw us. Because they're on tier level 2. Like, we get rid of all the buildings and we win. No. It's not gonna matter. Also, I'm afraid I'm gonna hit someone that I don't want to hit. Okay. Missionaries arrive. They teach and spread lessons of a foreign god. You may ignore their contact with the Dahan or curse the tongues of the foreigners. Well. There's no Dahan on board E. We can definitely just do Curse the Tongues, though. Forget Drought, forget Irresistible Call. Or forget Drought, spend 2 energy. Obviously, there's no Ravage, so the damage doesn't matter. 4 Fear isn't going to do much, but I mean... There's just the slight chance that I replace a Dahan with a town, which would probably happen in G7. And I kill it with Smash, Stomp, and Flatten, and then not care anymore, but why do that when I can just get 4 Fear? Beasts destroy explorers. Add Strife to a town. Invaders have minus health per Strife. They're going Sands? What? That was a very anticlimactic Sands explore. Oh wait, they're doing a double explore. What? Why are they doing a double explore? Bug report. Okay. Just win the game. I do need to move my Incarna. Push my Incarna, rather. I need to be in that land for that to be a sacred site. I win. I only placed 1 blight that game. Game was too easy. All the invader settlements have been destroyed and their morale is not strong enough to weather this loss. They depart the island for their faraway home. Got 39 points, 10 for victory, 20 for difficulty 4, 6 for the 3 remaining invader cards, 4 for the 8 surviving Dahan, -1 for the 3 blight on the island. Kind of surprising there's only 3 blight, as I said. We didn't remove a single blight. There were a number of ravages where I kept saying this ravage doesn't matter, and then I proceeded to stop that ravage, I guess. Really weird when I have very offense spirits to stop ravages, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, we won. My first experience with Ember-Eyed Behemoth. Kind of a weird game for me in a sense because I took a lot of major powers this game. I tend to take a lot of minor powers and only gain majors when like I have enough minors to like forget something or if there's a obvious candidate, but I kept feeling like I had a lot of energy because I have a +3 energy button right here. And I kept thinking, oh yeah, if I discard a card with fire, I could just forget it for the major power and it's not really like it's a loss. Obviously it Makes the Reclaim All with Fire a bit worse, but I feel like these majors on this spirit were pretty good. I feel like these majors over here ended up being bad. I mean, Irresistible Call was the one that we kept. Ended up being pretty good, though, that said. Irresistible Call into the Volcano. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. I'm happy we got to do a good Eruption. I was hoping to do a 10-1, but we never were in a situation where we needed it anyway. We're winning too hard, to quote the famous philosopher John. But yeah. That was Eberhide Behemoth. And that is it for me this week, I think. I'm not going to play a second game at this point. Probably just going to stick with one game in any case. But thank you for watching. Be sure to check out Handelabra Live tomorrow, where John will probably demo something else, or do more with Eberhide Behemoth, or play Sentinels, or something. In any case, you know, it is the place to see stuff before it is publicly available. He says he will show some new aspects. And if you know the release for Nature Incarnate, it was announced a couple weeks ago what all the things were. Or was it last week? I think it was last week, actually. I was watching. And I think it was last week I watched. Anyway, you know what is part of the first release. I forget myself, but you know what it is. So you might have an idea as to what the aspects are that John might be showing. In any case, be sure to check out Handelabra Live tomorrow, or in general, to see stuff before it is publicly available. Check out my stream. I will be back Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern. I am usually off on Mondays. It is the easiest day for me, and I like Spirit Island. I just checked my Steam. I was going through the games I've played on Steam to see the last time I played. It's apparently been a year since I last played One Deck Galaxy. It's kind of weird that it's been a year. So I guess I probably should play it. But I also can't resist Nature Incarnate stuff. But it's also been a long time since I last played Sentinels. But I like to do stuff. I like to play games. I like to have fun. And I like to discuss what I'm doing. And I like to be smart. I like to be all of these things. And I hope you enjoy it too. If you don't enjoy it, I'm sorry. I apologize. Anyway, that is it for me tonight. Have a good night, everyone. Peace.